Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am doing quite well. I've had my breakfast this time, and I've got some
Whoa.
coffee. Yeah, Lauren is done. Is
Mm-hmm.
done.
So you're allowed to eat again.
I'm allowed to eat again. Yes, I'm allowed to
Nice.
use the kitchen in the morning again for a couple of weeks, until she starts taking clients in her private practice. But it'll be only a few at first, so hopefully it won't be Friday mornings.
You're not rooting against her success, are you?
I am rooting for her success and
Rooting for a moderate amount of success in the afternoons.
I'm rooting for good timing on client schedules. You know, I want her to have all the clients she wants and just, stack them.
Gotcha.
She's doing great. Yeah. So I don't think we have anything to touch on. I think we can just pick up where we left off.
There's definitely no current events to discuss. Nothing going on in the world.
I don't know about you, but that's pretty much all I've been talking about with people for a week long.
I didn't bring my 10-foot pole, so I don't want to go near these politically fraught discussions.
Yeah, it's a little heavy for me because that's all we've been chatting about. So
really?
Oh yeah.
FF maybe tactics we'll talk and politics.
Yeah.
Strange times.
Yeah. Instead, let's talk about you and your snake.
Yeah, I don't have a snake with me. Do we want to recap, or are we just going to pick up?
Yeah. Where did we leave off? Did you leave the snake in the house by the river, and then you just went home?
Or... No, I just quaffed a potion of water breathing, and I'm about to go swim with the fishes. So I guess you do need a recap.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we started in Grecos, which was plagued with a curse that turned their well water to blood.
Yes.
Upon investigating, they had angered their local god, who turned out to be a magic serpent that lived in a little pagoda next to their well. I persuaded this serpent to come with me in search of greener pastures, greener gardens, and more servants to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So we took this serpent by the name of Platos on a tour of the countryside, back to Necrot, back to Atropos, and then we were attacked by the Romulans to the south. They kidnapped, who was it? The elder's granddaughter or something like that.
Yeah, do you remember her name?
Persephone?
That's it.
Dragged her to the underworld or something.
Just back to
well, a day south or so. We tracked them. Intercepted the kidnappers, found out they were from Romulus, and that they have been snatching up hostages from throughout the land to try and force the neighbors to pay tribute to them. Mm-hmm. We rescued our own daughter, and then myself and Platos went to Romulus to see what's going on. It appears they are militarizing. They weren't already militaristic. They've got a large force of armed men. They've taken hostages from nearby villages to force them into submission. Mm-hmm. So Devon set about punishing the Romulans for their crimes. He set up a small shrine to Platos in the river north of their village. It supplies them with water. Mm-hmm. Tended garden in this little river valley. Manicured it to be a shrine fit for a god, and Platos has taken up residence in a stream there and cursed their waters to run red with blood.
Mm-hmm.
And Devon left left Platos there to do his work while heading south to this village, Sinus.
Mm-hmm.
to warn them that their river is about to be tainted, and also look into the rumors of their fishing problems there. It seems like the fish have disappeared, or they haven't been able to fish.
Right.
And that's about where we left off. There was a bit of a confrontation on the beach with one of the locals, but now I'm alone. I've stashed my stuff in a little alcove or something underneath a hill or a sand dune or something. Hidden my stuff, and I've quaffed a potion of water breathing, and I'm about to enter the water to see what's going on there, which you've totally forgot. So I hope you have some idea what is going on, what I'm about to find under the water. And don't you dare roll a random encounter, because I know it's going to be eels.
But it's just this little creek, right? No, you're sorry, the ocean.
This is the ocean.
Right. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Are you prepared for this, or should I regurgitate the potion back into the teacup and come up with something else to do?
No, this is fine. But perhaps this is not the right music track for an undersea adventure.
Maybe it's the right music track for the recap and for rivers running red with blood.
Yes. I think this will be more appropriate for plunging.
Yeah. And
depths.
I did tell the people of Sinus that, the Romulans are cursed, the river is about to turn to blood, and to go ahead and flee and tell the Romulans what they did.
Right. So you will dive into the cool waters of the ocean over here, which gets you away from the baking sun that beats into your probably already quite bronzed skin.
Mm-hmm.
And swim about. You can see that there is eelgrass, there are mussels, there are sea anemones. You can spot a couple of starfish. It looks like the ocean is thriving. There just happens to be no fish in the area.
Do I see any fish? So I guesstimate I probably got an hour underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So I swim down, 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 and around, and see what I can see. What do I have in terms of spells? Pretty much nothing. Ooh. Light has no verbal component, so that could be cast underwater.
Very nice. Love it.
Assuming I brought a... we can say that I brought a few, fireflies.
Sure, or at the very least, you can just pop right back out of the water and grab them out of your pack and hop right back in.
Sure. That is... Glancing blow is just somatic. Detect magic, somatic material. If I brought crystal dust, I could detect magic. So I'll have those. Those pouches on my waist or whatever.
Yeah. And you have a swimming proficiency, and you have water breathing, so you are free to cruise about.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check as you swim around and scan the area.
Yeah, basics, PCP. Natural 20. God.
Yeah.
I smell the fishes. Or not.
It's not the fish that are your main concern. You notice something a little bit odd in the ground, like buried under some of the sand, maybe 30 feet off the edge of the coast. And upon further inspection, it appears to be some sort of like fish bone or shark bone or some sort of bone trident head. It's quite thin, with just like little tines coming out. It looks like it's sized for someone not quite human sized, but like not halfling sized, like, a smallish human, maybe like a child, something like that, like an adolescent child. And it looks like it's been broken off of its haft, because it's just like the trident head that's buried here underground.
I swim I don't know how deep the water is here, but
20 feet.
Yeah. I exhale so my ears pop and swim all the way down to this trident head and clear away some of the sand around it.
Mm-hmm. You will see that the trident has skewered on one of its tines a,
A
With a
fish?
small... No. It's a type of shark I'm blanking on the name of. Is it a tiger? A small tiger shark? No, tiger sharks are big.
Tiger shark or big shark? Leopard sharks?
Is it leopard? Breshers are also big. It must be leopard that I'm thinking of.
Leopard can be up to like 5 or 6 feet, but
Yeah. That's what we're looking for. So a small leopard shark. It's maybe like a foot long or so.
is it like skewered through the tine into the sand or something? Or
yeah, it's like the tine skewered the shark, and then the whole head came off of the haft, and the whole thing is just like slightly buried under the sand. It doesn't look particularly fresh. It's hard to judge how long it's been here buried under the sand, but it's definitely not today's kill.
Is this at all ominous? I only have a folklore proficiency, but this doesn't seem anything.
No, the shark isn't that big of a deal.
Ward that would keep.
But the craftsmanship of the trident head is pretty damn good. Like, someone put a lot of love and care into this head, this trident head, because there's like little carvings and rings around it and small little markings that are clearly decorative that have no practical value, and they like bothered to carve out individual little hooks on the sides. Considering the amount of time that this would have taken a person, you find it difficult to believe someone would just abandon it here, especially if you're from like a poor village, like whatever this coastal place is.
Yeah, does it look placed or is it broken?
It looks broken, like it snapped off of something.
I'm contemplating casting a detect magic, but I think I will want to conserve that unless I have reason to believe. That's what I was kind of trying to gauge, if this seems ominous, if it seems like it was placed here. I would assume that even if it were a magic item, the fact that it's broken has probably broken the magic. But I don't know. So then I will touch the trident head and remove it from the ground.
Yeah, you can pull it out easily with no problems. It doesn't do anything.
Remove the shark from it. You said it's slightly smaller than a human-sized trident?
Yeah, it looks a little bit, instead of maybe being about, a head and a half wide, it's like the width of your face.
Okay.
It looks like it's sized for a slightly smaller creature.
I'll tuck it into my belt and continue searching the area.
Yeah. Well, you come across a little bit later
Well, I did want to see if I could find the haft anywhere around. I don't know if
it's while you're searching for the haft that you come across I guess we would just call it like a seashell bikini top. It's a pair of shells connected by some sort of cord that looks unusual to you. It doesn't look like any cords you've ever seen before. And it's just like resting here, maybe 40 feet off the shore and 25 feet down.
Does it look placed here, or does it look discarded? I immediately look for a topless mermaid.
Even with your natural 20 on the perception check, you find no topless mermaids. But it doesn't look intentionally placed. It looks like it must have fallen off in a struggle or something.
I'll take it as well.
Okay.
And continue spiraling around, searching this area.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm looking for the haft, I think. So I think I do like a spiral from the
thing out.
The thing, and to see if I can find the haft. Along the bottom, sort of churning up sand to see if it's concealed anywhere, like looking through eel grass, tempting fate.
Instead of finding the haft, you find a crown is maybe too splendid of a word, but like a circlet that one might wear around their head, but it is made out of coral. And you will find a pair of fishhook pearl earrings, like they hook through the ears with just fishhooks, and then they have pearls off of them.
I collect all of these things.
And you dig in the sand a little bit further, and you find a kind of teal or aquamarine colored hand sticking out of the sand.
and I'll excavate, dig up is there a body, presumably?
There is a body, yeah.
Yeah.
Hand is slender and delicate looking. It's attached to an arm, and as you work your way up the body, you dig out the head of what looks to be a guild elf with long, like, bleached green hair, like some sort of teal hair color. It's quite dead.
Yeah, I will unbury the corpse enough. Does it float when it's freed from the sand?
It does not float. No, it's sort
then
of.
I think I will spend a few minutes searching the surrounding area for any more signs of the struggle, or maybe a battle. Maybe if there's more corpses around. But otherwise, I think I will continue freeing the body and drag it back to shore.
Yeah. You find no other corpses, and you find you might find like a few other small pieces of discarded clothing, broken or torn or in non-usable shape. And then, now you just got this body, this trident, this... I should mention that this is a female sea elf. This is probably her top that you found.
She's topless.
Yeah. And
not the topless sea elf I was hoping for, Neal.
Definitely not the topless sea elf you were hoping for. Sorry.
I drag her up onto the sand to get a better look.
Yeah. All the way out of the water?
All the way out of the water. I glance over my shoulder before I surface to make sure I'm not being pursued or anything.
You are not being pursued, and the people of Sinus are busy separating water. Yeah, gathering water and panicking about the, impending doom of their entire civilization.
Yeah, I pulled the sea elf onto the shore, and
it is definitely an ex-sea elf.
Yeah. How decomposed? A body would decompose pretty quickly in the ocean, I would think.
It would. You would expect it to decompose quickly in the ocean. This one was buried under sand, so maybe that has helped preserve it. It doesn't look too badly decomposed. If this were strictly above ground, you would say maybe a week or so. Underwater, but then under sand, maybe it's about the same time. Maybe it's appreciably shorter or longer. I think without a CSI check, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay. I will go ahead and cast my detect magic. So I'll arrange the trident, the circlet, the pearl earrings, and cast detect magic on the stash here.
The earrings.
I sprinkle it over everything.
Yes. As you sprinkle your crystals over the earrings, they radiate magic.
Interesting.
Are your ears pierced, Devon?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a thing that you would have done.
There's a pair of them.
A matched pair. Which is odd. Considering if they were just sort of lying on the ground, you really would have expected the ocean tides to have swept them away, but maybe the magic of the earrings is what's kind of holding them together.
Is the are the elves' ears pierced? Can I tell?
They are. Yes.
Yeah.
And they actually have a pair of small bone studs in them still.
Oh, so they are not. So they
no, like
wasn't wearing
they've
these.
got each ear is pierced twice, and there's like a small bone stud left in, and then you can see like a tear mark on the left ear where one of these other earrings was actually ripped out, and then the other one seems fairly intact. So that must have fallen out.
Or do they stay as a pair somehow? Interesting. Well, I'll think about piercing my ears if I find out what these do. I will return the shell bikini to the corpse. Cover her up. And the circlet. The circlet wasn't magical?
The circlet was not magical. It was definitely decorative.
Is it nice? Does it seem valuable?
It is. It's made of a single piece of coral that has been painstakingly carved to remove the middle part, so it'll sit over a head and then file down on the inside, so that the coral won't like shred your face while you wear it on you. And it looks like the rest of it is still alive, like the top and the sides, the part that isn't where your head would touch. So someone must have taken a lot of time and care in order to remove the coral in such a way that it can be a circlet without killing the coral.
So it would probably have to stay underwater to stay alive, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Do you need that?
Delivery, yeah, I'll be right back.
That's fine. This gives me a time to figure out what the fuck these magic earrings are. I'm not really sure. Kind of just making this shit up as I go along. By now, you guys should know that, though. He's back.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. Your delivery?
Yep.
Lovely.
Okay. After inspecting this stuff, I will take the valuables with me, leaving the elf corpse on the shore with her bikini returned. Mm-hmm. Just I don't want looters to come and take the magic earrings or the circlet or the trident or anything. And I will spend the rest. I will swim out, spending the rest of my spell, hopefully looking for living sea elves if I can find them.
Okay. Yeah, you did roll a natural 20 on your first perception check. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Should I roll another or?
Please do, actually.
Yeah. No.
Not bad. Oh, it's so close.
Close.
Okay. You can continue to find, search around, and you will find a, how do you say, like a river. Like if the sea level were like 100 feet lower, this would be an extension of the creek that comes out from near Sinus. And you can see as it goes underwater, it appears to become more channel and river-like. And this leads out maybe 300, 400 feet away from the coast before taking a sharp and steady dip downward. Now, the land on either side of this undersea river actually continues forward. So it's almost like this is going down into a, what do they call those, like, pits of water in the middle of the Amazon? Not Sinai, not cestices, not cyples. Cenotes? Like a cenote underwater.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the river would just continue into a...
So it's probably fresh water, freshest, brackish here. That seems interesting. I think that's what I follow. I don't know if I see much, but...
No, I'm going to say that the 20 is you find this thing as your potion is running out. If there are sea elves around, this is a promising possible location for them, but you can find yourself, you find yourself needing a little bit more air, and you're not drowning yet, but you can tell your potion is running short.
Yeah, so I will follow the edge of that river, and like from near the surface, I will look out into this cenote, I guess you're calling it. This looks like where the fresh water feeds into the ocean. And it sounds like there's some like divot and like an underwater valley or something.
Yeah.
That I will look into and look out on before returning to the surface. Can I see anything in the underwater valley, or is it just...
No, it just looks like a shaft in the ground, maybe 40 or 50 feet wide, and it plunges down into the depths. It's kind of dark and murky down there. And you would love to explore it, I expect, but you are running short on air.
All right, I'll return to the surface and catch my breath, and then Puts around the surface for a bit. How far from shore? What you said this is like 300 feet from shore?
Mm-hmm.
I'll swim out a little bit and then like stick my head underwater and look. Swim out a little bit more, stick my head underwater and look. Maybe go to like 500 feet away from shore. See if there's like an underwater city or anything out here. But
give me one last perception check.
so I think instead of exploring the depths, I swim out. It seems like there's nothing there. Is there like is it like an underwater valley, or how big is the?
So the cenote is just
like
like
the river.
A rounded
okay.
shaft, and then like this river would have led into that.
Does it continue from there?
If it does continue, it continues down and underground.
Okay.
So you swim another
swimming,
couple hundred feet out, and you don't see any other cenotes or any other such things.
Does the water level stay about the same, or does it drop off?
The water level?
Like the depth?
Oh, yeah. The ground does continue to generally slope forward and down and down and down and down at like not an entirely even pace, but there's no sudden drop off other than into the cenote.
Intriguing, but I will return to shore, to the elf corpse, and look around for villagers.
Yeah. You see a couple of villagers nearby. There's some people that are pulling out, that are using stone daggers to like pry mussels off of some of the rocks that are just underwater.
I will wave to them and walk over, how far away are they?
100 feet or so, a couple hundred feet maybe. They're pretty close.
I'll wave. I'll see if I can get them to come to me.
Yeah.
To the corpse.
Yeah, if you wave one over, they quickly head over, and they look surprised to see a corpse here.
Yeah.
Have you positioned it in such a way that its elven ears will be obvious to the casual observer? Or have you left the hair
isn't it
hide
also
the
like
ears?
Isn't it gill and
it is gill.
Doesn't it have like fins for hands and
they're sort of webbed. It'd be pretty obvious, but
I feel like the pointy ears are
the
least of its concerns.
Okay. Yeah. Someone comes over and looks down at the dead sea elf and up at you and down at the elf and up at you and down at the elf and goes, "What is it?"
Would I know that it's a sea elf, or is mermaid a more likely conclusion?
I mean, you see pointy ears and you see gills. It's clearly in the ocean. I think sea elf is just a logical conclusion, even if you've never heard of them before.
Okay. I found her just offshore, and I point into the water. A dead sea elf princess.
What? He's just baffled.
Have you ever seen their kind in these waters? You work these shores?
Uh-huh.
A mussel collector?
Uh-huh. He dumbly nods.
And you've never seen her kind? And surely there must be tales, legends.
Well, yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff in the sea. There's like...
I nod encouragingly.
Weird sea witches. Their songs encourage people to swim out and out and out, and then they drown, and then the sea witches eat them.
Sirens?
Oh, yeah, sirens. You also got harpies. They do the same thing, but they're far less, more vicious and damaging. And, let's see. There are weird sharks out there with, like broad heads. Looks like a hammer. And, there's all sorts of monsters out in the ocean. That's why we generally just, only wade up to our hips or take a boat.
Did you know that there's a pit where the river enters the sea? And I point to the 300 feet offshore. A cenote.
No.
It might be called. You didn't know. How long have you lived here?
I lived here my whole life.
Hmm.
I mean, look, I don't know about you, but I can't swim. So,
I'm dripping wet. Like, clearly I can swim.
yeah, you just saw him, like, wading up to his hips and, like, plunging his head under and standing.
Must be a dangerous life to be a shellfisher that can't swim. What if a wave comes?
Well, you don't go out too deep, and a wave comes, it knocks you in towards shore, and you grab onto the nearest rock, and... Whew.
I nod. Well. Is there anyone in your village in Sinus that might be more familiar with such tales?
Talk to the old man.
The old man.
Mm-hmm.
Is he your village elder, or...
The guy nods.
Did I meet the village elder? Who was I? No, it was just some random old lady, right? But I was...
You did meet an old lady. Yeah.
Okay.
She might have been... She is definitely, like, one of the village elders.
Okay.
But
Well, I will head into the village proper, leaving the corpse on the shore for now.
Okay. You will be brought to the village elder, a man by the name of Nestor.
Oh, the village elder's gone. Yeah, chat's reminding us. The village elder was the guy that I met on the road.
Oh, right.
Maybe there's a council of elders, but I met the village elder heading to Necrot, looking for to seek JacobH.
You will find one of the other elders.
Son.
Yeah, so like the elder is a usually a term. How do you say? The village elder is a proper term for like the oldest, most wisest person around, and he's not here, so he'll just take you to some other old person in the town who might also know something. Might not be like the guy in charge, but a bloke who's been here 60 years, 65 years. His name is Nestor.
Maybe by now he's learned how to swim, at the very least. I will approach Nestor.
Yeah, he is sitting in the shade of a hut. He's got a coconut in one hand, and he's sipping out of it, and shading his eyes to... I guess he's in the shade, so he doesn't need to shade his eyes. Scratching his head with the other hand as you guys approach.
Greetings, Uncle. Are you the one they call Nestor?
I am. And you must be the stranger from out of town that brings tidings of blood rivers.
I nod solemnly. I am Devon. An acolyte of Atropos. And I did bring these tidings.
The Atropos? The legendary Atropos? The seer of fortunes?
The same.
Can you see our future?
I'm focused right now on your present. Perhaps I bring more grim tidings. I suspect you have been having trouble with the sea.
Of course,
a lack
yes.
of fish, perhaps.
Yes.
I went and had a swim and uncovered a grim omen. The corpse of a sea elf princess.
Grim omen indeed.
Did you know there are elves in the ocean off the coast here?
Never in all my years have I seen an elf. What? Are they responsible for the fish going away?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you. I don't know if it is a good sign that one of them is dead off your coast. Come, would you like to see? Can you walk?
He gets up.
Here,
the young man. Oh,
here, take my elbow. I said, unless.
Yeah, he'll hold on to you and use
I'll
you as
walk him
support.
up the beach to where I laid out the corpse. By now, is a crowd gathering around it?
Yeah, there's a few people have come over to see what the hubbub's about.
Mm-hmm.
The village
Tell
elder
me,
will-
Tell me, Elder, have you? Are there any tales in your histories of merfolk or elves in the sea?
Well, there are, of course, the legends of merfolk
sea
around.
Spirits.
Yes, there are many spirits of the sea.
Please tell.
There are the strange fishmen. There are blue-skinned devils that they say ride the ocean waves and rip people apart, sailors who have lost their way. They say that there are people under the waves that can control the very fish and sharks there and manipulate them to their advantage.
Perhaps this princess is one of them. Did you know there's a pit to the abyss where the river meets the ocean? I point a few hundred feet offshore.
A pit to the abyss? I mean, I'm aware of the hole out there, but to the abyss? That's a new one on me.
Perhaps I was being a bit dramatic.
Oh, right. It's an odd feature, but, it's too deep for anyone to explore. I just thought it was a weird hole in the ground. Is that where the sea elves come from? Do they come from
I don't
the
know.
pit?
I haven't had a chance to swim down there. Perhaps I will if no one here knows any more of who this woman is. And maybe by now we're standing over the body.
Yeah, maybe 40 people have gathered, and no one seems to know anything about her.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone is keen to gaze upon her. She has she's an unusual creature that none of these people have ever really seen before.
Well, for now, we can, I suppose, leave her here, not disturb her, but I would imagine that a burial at sea would be more appropriate.
I suppose, but didn't you just pull her out of the sea?
To get a better look.
He looks around to the people. Well, we're having a funeral, apparently. And he waves at the people to, make preparations for a proper funeral. And some of the older people will head off and do that, while the younger kids look around and...
I say, paying our respects certainly couldn't hurt, but perhaps we should seek out any kin she may have and see if they know more.
The man looks at you expectantly. You're the only one who seems to have found one of these creatures. I would offer you aid if I had it.
Guess I'm gonna use all my water-breathing potions chasing after these sea elves. What time of day is it?
Mid-afternoon?
In that case, maybe I'll swim down the pit now.
Okay.
Can I entrust my belongings with you? I ask the elder.
Of course. And he yells at one of the nearby people to bring a small shade structure so he can sit here at the edge of the ocean and keep an eye on your stuff and watch the goings on.
Okay. And I unwrap another one of my teacups. drink my second and last potion of water breathing. Teacup of water breathing.
Yes. Okay. One more time into the deep.
One more time into the deep. This time I go straight for the pit.
Straight for the pit.
Sapote?
Cenote.
Cenote? It's probably Espanol, right?
It is. It might actually be a Mayan term, or maybe it's a Spanish term. I'm not sure where the origin comes from. I expect it to be Mayan.
Cenotes are those caves where the ceiling is collapsed.
Sure.
You could have one underwater.
Yeah,
but it's
you can't have underwater cenotes.
But typically they're
above.
Cenotes are surface connections to subterranean water bodies.
Yeah,
but maybe you could have underwater ones.
Yeah, there I believe are some cenote. I mean, if it's an underwater cenote, it's not really a cenote anymore. But like when the ocean levels were lower, like last ice age, then there would have been some that are now underwater. I think you can find them off the coast of Brazil and I don't know where else.
Yeah,
not Brazil. I don't remember.
I don't know. I've been to one in Mexico.
Ooh, did you get to swim in it?
I don't think we did. I think we just looked in it.
Well, those
actually
things are
maybe I did.
No.
It's been a few years now. Maybe
there have been some cool treasures discovered in cenotes, and they were like the lifeblood of the entire empire, of the Mayan Empire, I think.
Well, they thought they were connected to the spirit world or something. They would throw sacrifices into them, right?
Mm-hmm. All sorts of stuff,
gold and
then like your regular Mayan kids just like throw shit in them because why not? Okay. So there's like trash and interesting artifacts that can be found. Bodies. Yeah, fun part. Why don't we take our first break here as you swim out and plunge yourself into the depths of the cenote looking for sea elves or something.
Or something.
So we'll see you guys in a few minutes with some or somethings.